I bet it never gets old, but when you hear with the first pick of the 2024 draft, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams, what comes to mind? Like, what are the feelings and emotions that you remember?
When I got the call, at first it was kind of funny. And then when I hung up, I think I just had like a flashback of all the hard work, all the times that we won, we lost, all the early mornings, late nights of working out and things like that, working hard. So a few tears dropped, and then right after that, wiped those away, put the game face on to walk on stage, and it was an unbelievable feeling to have all my family and everybody there, and then to have that moment for myself.
It's almost like you make it look easy, so some people may think that it's come easy, but you mentioned some of that hard work, and I almost want to take you back some so people understand the story. And I feel like we have to go back to the name Harrison Bailey to truly understand it. So what does that name mean to you? Explain how that was a little bit of a turning point for you.
Yeah. So Harrison, he whooped my tail. He whooped my tail in a game. I think it was a semifinal game, and he beat up on us, Georgia, obviously coming from Georgia, versus Team Maryland, and he beat us, and it was a tough loss. I took that loss a little bit more tough than most times. Didn't enjoy the situation I was in. I wasn't playing quarterback then. I was playing running back and linebacker and safety and things like that, and didn't get to play on offense. The coach that game. Coach was playing daddy ball on my team, and I took it to heart. I wanted to switch to quarterback. I wanted to be able to spread the ball around. I wanted to be a reason why we would win games, and I wanted to go out there and have fun doing it. And so I switched positions after he beat us, and my dad basically, after I was done crying after that loss when I was younger, my dad put together a plan. And it was eating habits, it was working out, it was, sleep and all these other things, vitamins. And that was around 10 years old. And then from there, it's just been kind of engraved in me. Hard work or discipline or, whatever you want to call it. It's been engraved in me. So it's, that loss, meant a lot to me.
What's wild is, and your dad has said this, you didn't say, I want to be a great quarterback. You said, I want to be the greatest quarterback to have ever played the game at 9, 10, however old you were. Like, where does that come from?
I think at the moment I was a bit emotional because of the loss. And then the other part, because at that time I wasn't putting in the hard work. Football was fun for me. It was what I loved to do. It was what I enjoyed to do, but I didn't necessarily know what came with it and how much work I had to put in at that time. And then when we started working out and things like that, and that hard work, it always pays off, as everybody always says. But when it started paying off on the football field and started gaining more confidence in myself and the work that I was doing, those dreams and aspirations that I set for myself, because I always set really high aspirations, and that's another dream of mine is to become the greatest. It allows me to keep going, allows me to reach those things, because I know that I can't reach certain things like that in 1 year, 2 years, or anything like that. So it gives me a push. It gives me a sense of, I'm not good enough. It gives me a sense of I'm not there. And so, those are the things. And at the time when I said that, I was probably a little bit emotional. But then, now growing up, it's more of a dream that pushes me.
I feel like you're also someone who, you remind me of when Kobe talks, you know what I mean, the Mamba mentality, but you also post him a lot. So I wonder how much you kind of go back to the way that he lived, he practiced, and the way that he worked, and mold that into how you do the same things.
I watch the Kobe Mamba documentary once every year.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you watch it? Did you already watch it?
I've already watched it. Okay. But I watch it once every year. I started that in college. My freshman year, I was laying in my bed, and the first time watched it, and I loved it so much that I have in my notes the Kobe documentary, and then I have like timestamps, and then next to it I have like a timestamp of this and that, and then the timestamp says, his mentality. Another timestamp says when he went through adversity and hardship and how he dealt with it and things like that. So watching how he played, how fierce he was, how much he wanted to win and loved to win. I feel as if I connect with those things the most from him. So that's a person that I, admire and look to for, some of the, like I said, mentality, some of the grit, the adversity, how he dealt with it. And even, when I got hurt in my championship game in college, I used what he said, is that the game is bigger than anything that I'm feeling. And so, I would say that I, watch a lot of,
Yeah, you do.
Kobe. So.
Any other quotes that we have ingrained from him?
Some of them I cannot say because of the words that he uses.
That's fair.
Yes.
That's fair, but you have them memorized.
I have them memorized. Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to call it scripture, but it's sounding like the book of Kobe. You've got that one down.
Yeah.
Describe the, things that you would consider adversity. Give me some more examples of that. You mentioned the injury, but what are some of the other things that have turned you into the quarterback that we're going to see moving forward? Yeah,
I would say when I didn't start, obviously I know I was a freshman and things like that, but I felt as if I put in, all the work to be able to start that freshman year for myself, and it didn't happen. So it was a adverse moment for me because I've never been in a position where I was the backup for 6-7 games, and then, and I would go up to coach. I wouldn't ask him to give me play time. I would ask him, how do I put myself in a position to get in a position that I want to be in, which is playing on the field. And so, he didn't give me anything, and I use this information now, or what he gave me then was keep going. And so I use that for myself now. I use it when I'm working out. I use it in, tough times of, or when I'm, mentally not as strong. I tell myself to keep going. So, that's another adverse moment. Obviously, the moment at 10 years old, I count that as adversity because it, I would say, changed mindset and dreams and aspirations for myself. I'll say those are the key ones. Losing my first ever championship my freshman year of high school. It was to St. John's. We got smoked pretty bad. It was the first time, when you grow up and you play football, you normally grow up with the same group over and over and over and over. In high school, obviously you're only there for 4 years, and so the seniors, when they lost, that was their last game, and they got to walk out of that stadium. It was pretty tough for me. So I took that one. I took that one to heart. I'm realizing, what it is in high school, college, and then obviously here in the pros, whole team can change after a year.
So that brings up the question, do you remember the losses or the wins more?
You always remember the losses a little bit more than the wins. Obviously you remember, the big plays and the wins. You remember obviously the win of the big game. But you remember all the small things, all the things you could have done better, all the things you could have done better as a team, all the things that happened throughout the game and the losses and things like that.
Okay, I'm going to have Bears fans close their ears, but I know that growing up, someone that you watched
I was an Aaron Rodgers fan.
Right, not the Packers?
I wasn't technically the Packers because when he left, I became a nobody fan until I got drafted by the Bears.
Okay.
So.
What is it about Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, he's special. If you go watch his film, if you go watch him in person, which I haven't had the chance to do yet. But when you watch him and see what he does, he plays the game, above the shoulders. He plays the game with his mind, and he's special. He knows everything defensive wise. He's seen everything, and then obviously when things don't go his way, when things play breaks down, he goes and makes. He makes insane plays. And so just being able to be a complete QB is what everybody dreams and aspires to be. And that's something that I'm, working my hardest to be, is be fully complete, or to the most complete that I can be. And playing this game from above the shoulders, and then when the play breaks down, it's time to go make magic.
You've drawn comparisons to the magic of Patrick Mahomes, say Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there. Is there one that you think you closely resemble? If you're watching film of others, is there someone that you feel as though you do resemble in style of play?
I think over the years I've watched a bunch of different QBs, and then I would try throughout the years. I would try and go, in trainings and things like that. Whether it was a play fake, whether it was a certain throw, whether it was Aaron Rodgers put his body in a weird throwing position and still complete the pass and things like that. I would try all those things. So I think there's a collective of people that, depending on the play, depending on the pass and things like that, that I can resemble. I think the two guys that I've watched the most is Aaron and Matthew over the time and over the years, because those two guys can put the ball and place the ball anywhere they want at any time. And so watching those two guys being able to rip the ball, obviously Aaron being a little bit more mobile and athletic. I would say that Matthew, those two guys have played at a high level for the longest time. So I would say those two, and then being able to move around and get out of stuff. I think in the recent years, I would say Pat and his elusiveness in the pocket and things like that. So I think those three.
That strikes me a little bit, that you see like Aaron Rodgers, like he's contorted in a weird way, and you'll practice that.
Yeah, practice it. Yeah.
That some people will see that on Sunday and be like, wow, he just pulled that out of his back pocket, but you might have worked on that.
Yeah.
And that's a part of being prepared for everything.
Yeah. That's whether it's mental or physical, putting yourself in that position is key, I think, for being prepared for when it happens. It just happens, and it's something I try and do as often as I can.
Okay, we've given credit to Dad, Carl. We got to give some credit to Mom.
Yeah,
what
Mom is.
Listen, what she brings to the table.
Mom is special. Yeah, no, Mom is. She's wonderful. She's she and everybody probably already knows, but she's the one that kind of got me into the nails thing. Growing up, she was always caring. She was always taking care of everybody. She owned a daycare, so she treated everybody and everybody else's child like they were her own. And I think that's gone a long way for me. So when I'm on a football team and things like that, or when I have friends and things like that I truly care for, I take care of them. I ask them questions about their family. I ask them questions about themselves. We go out to dinner. We go out mini golf, we go out, all these other things, and we hang out. We build, true bonds and relationships that just grow over time. And I think a lot of that comes from her. Okay, you brought the nail thing. I just have pictures. This is our last thing we're gonna run through. You tell me what our style was here. Yeah, so I do you remember the game? This was, I've had so many daggone. Well, you could just tell me what. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so this is a biohazard. Yep, biohazard. Sometimes I was just going kind of random because it looked kind of cool. Biohazard, American flag, flames, and then I put, this one was on purpose. Okay. I put the, like if you're throwing darts or if you're target. Yeah, target. But it was more of like, I put the cross in the middle too for that. So it was more of on my index finger, because that's when you throw, it's the finger that's the last finger to touch the ball. And so that was more of a this is mental health awareness and breast cancer awareness, 988, and then breast cancer awareness on my pinky. Yeah. And I don't remember what I had on my thumb, but the 988. So we already know. I didn't do this one yet, but it is this will probably be on there at some point. Bear down. We have you week 2, so we really, that's the one that we want to know, but if you don't already know what's in your mind, what you're going to do, that's all right. Yeah, so this was just a matte black thing, and then I just threw a bunch of this. I normally don't do stickers, but these are all stickers. Smiley face, flame, white heart, and an eye. And a part of it too, I do love the fact that you talk about mental awareness or mental health awareness, and also just anti-bullying, and that's a part of the cause. Yes. With the nails too. Yep. And I don't know that everyone understands that. Yeah, it's a part of the cause, because obviously people try and say things about it, and say things about me because of it, and so it is a mesh, something that meshes well with the outreach that I'm trying to reach, and outreach that I'm trying to get out to other people about mental health and bullying, and let them know that I'm one with them. I'm here. You can connect with me because of the things that are said about me and us football players, to be honest, over time. Well, thank you for your time, Caleb. No, thank you. Yeah. That was great. Y'all got a great one.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.